So last night I hung my bear bag for me and Emily to put our toiletries and smelly stuff in that didn't fit in our bear canisters yet, so now I'll show you how easy it is to get it down. Good morning from day 35, just getting started around 6:10. Slept in a little bit again till 5:30. Just was very comfy. I think it's finally cool enough, like I don't think it goes below 45 degrees, but cool enough where I'm not sweating all night long, so I can actually be comfortable. The next 5 miles is the climb to Mather Pass, and then we go downhill for a long time after that. I checked in with Vicky and Jocelyn last night. Jocelyn has the Garmin as well, and they are less than 2 days ahead, so hopefully we'll catch up to them soon. I haven't heard from Cole, but here's what the trail looks like so far this morning. Almost to the top of Mather Pass. It's been a pretty easy climb so far, very gentle, and only 5 miles of ascent total. But it is making me realize my legs are sore from yesterday, from Chincho Pass. My quads were burning during the pass yesterday because of all the high steps we had to do, and I'm definitely still feeling it this morning. Made it to the top of the pass. Have it all to myself. Here is the basin we came from, and this side is where we are going. So coming down, it looks like you can follow the boot track there, and then it comes down and circles back around there. So I can either follow the boot tracks through the hard snow, or I can just scramble down these boulders, which I think that is the route I am going to take. So it looks like I can't avoid going on the snowpack. Since it is early in the morning, not even 9 o'clock, the snow is very hard and very slick, so I'm going to do this little section, and then I might need to put on my micro spikes. So I just got like 5 steps into this next little boot track section and ended up turning around. I didn't have my micro spikes on, but the snow is so icy since it's early in the morning. I just don't feel comfortable going across there. So instead, I'm gonna boulder hop again. I don't know exactly where the trail is down there, but I know I'll feel more comfortable on boulders than I will in icy snow. I am back on solid trail, no longer rock scrambling. So like I said, I turned around at that icy patch there. I took 4 steps in, got sketched out, turned around, thought I was going to fall in the process of turning around, and decided to rock scramble instead. This early in the morning and in the shade, the snow, it was a very small patch, but the snow was very solid ice. I have my micro spikes with me. I honestly don't think they would have helped with that section because of how solid icy it was. I don't think my micro spikes would have been able to get a grip. Usually it needs to be at least a little bit soft in order for the spikes to sink in. So I did the boulder scramble, a rock scramble instead, which was, you know, physically harder but safer, and only a short little while for me to get back onto solid ground. Although right now the trail is just a river from all the snow melt. But, you know, I'll take that over having to do this pass completely in the snow. I am here at Palisades Lake. Got here around 10:30. I've done 8.7 miles today to get to this lake so far, and if we do our full plan today, if I didn't say already, it's about 20.5 miles. But this lake is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to sit here and eat first breakfast. Had some ibuprofen because my foot is hurting after the rock scrambling and just walking on the rocks coming down from Mather Pass. And just relax a little bit. I thought I might go for a swim, but I'm too much of a chicken. The water's too cold. I did wash out one of my pair of socks. So my sock routine is I have 2 pairs of hiking socks. I wear 1 pair for 2 days, and then switch to the other pair for 2 days. And when I am not wearing it, I will wash out in whatever stream I can come across and let them dry so that they'll be ready for the next time I have to wear them. But this is how beautiful this lake is. Also, I don't think I mentioned yet, but my best friend Emily sent a care package with Chad when I saw him in Bishop, and included in that was some liquid IV. So thank you, Em. Really appreciate it. This is a section of trail called the Golden Staircase. I've been doing so many switchbacks going down, and I will say I am very glad that I'm going northbound right now. I'm going to go down this little hill versus having to climb up. See all these switchbacks we keep hitting until we finally get down there. This place is just so stunning. It looks like a painting or something. Absolutely not real. Wait till I turn the corner just a little bit. Look at that. It's amazing. It's very nice to be walking on some nice, smooth, gentle dirt again. I've got about 5 more miles to go to camp, which I really don't want to do. I just got up from an 1.5 hour second lunch break, and 5 more miles doesn't sound fun. My back is a little bit sore from the heavy wood pack. My feet are sore from all the rocks earlier, but I just had to remind myself doing these 5 more miles today will set me up better for tomorrow. And I just got my whole foot wet, of course. But doing the 5 more miles today will set me up better for tomorrow, where we'll only have 20 miles to go to camp at the base of a river so that we can ford it the next day. I'll go into more detail about all that tomorrow. But 5 more miles, 1,200 feet of climbing, so very gentle climb. And I just gotta keep reminding myself it's nothing compared to what we've done. I can do this and just keep going ahead. It really helps that right now, who knows how long this will last, but right now the trail is mainly dirt and kind of gently rolling through a really pretty forest. This scene is just so pretty with a slow stream going through. I am sitting at camp at the end of day 35. Today was our biggest day in the Sierras so far. Today we did 20.9 miles. The ascent wasn't too bad. It was only a total climb of 3,461 miles, but 3,461 feet, 20.9 miles, which sets us up for a 20-something mile day tomorrow to get to camp right before the river so we can cross the river the next morning. And we are over a third, almost halfway up Muir Pass in terms of mileage, not in terms of feet gained, but means we have like 6 to 6.5 miles of uphill climbing up Muir Pass tomorrow morning, and then it'll be 14 miles of generally downhill, which should be nice. Hopefully not rocky like it was today. I forgot to take the ibuprofen at my first lunch break, or second lunch break, whenever I was planning to do so. So I definitely need to make sure I do take it tonight because my feet are a little bit sore, my right foot in particular. But otherwise, today felt great. I was able to cruise the last 5 miles to camp and the 5 miles before that, so the last 10 miles of the day was nice dirt trail where I was able to cruise and feel like I could actually make progress versus the steep uphills and downhills that the Sierras have been. Emily should be here too. She's planning to get here. She'll be here in about half hour or so. There's 2 other random people camping around, but let me show you the area. So that's some other random person, and then past there is another random person, and then here is my tent right here and some water I'm filtering. Good morning from day 36. Let myself sleep in a little bit. Normally I don't set an alarm at all and I wake up between 5 and 5:15, but today I slept until 5:45, so didn't get started moving till about 6:30. The plan for today is now down to 18 miles. When we went to bed yesterday it was at 20.5, but now the plan is 18 miles. And okay, this will probably be a little bit complicated. I'll try and make it as easy to understand as possible. So in 20.5 miles, where we originally were gonna go, or originally being yesterday when we talked, was to camp right at a river. Now it is a big river, and there used to be a bridge that crossed the river, and that bridge has been broken for the last 2 years. So the National Park Service does not recommend trying to ford across the river. About a couple weeks ago, someone was swept away trying to do that. So before we left town, we had talked about options. Beyond fording the river, there are 2 different options. One is exiting the Sierra through Bishop Pass, which was actually about 2 miles back, hitching ahead and coming back in Paiute Pass, which would skip about 20 miles of trail, and between the 2 passes they are about 30 miles. So you're doing an extra 10 miles, skip 20 miles of trail, and have to worry about hitching from one trailhead to the other. So personally, I never considered that an option. The second option to avoid fording the river is called an up and over reroute. It's someone named Andrew Skirka, who's a big outdoor hiker enthusiast, suggested this route, and many people have done it. It skips only 3 miles of trail, and basically you scramble up the mountain, the side of the mountain, up and then back down, and just avoid the river crossing. Now leaving Bishop, that was definitely our plan. You know, it's hard, it's 3 miles. I have somewhere between 1,000, 2,000 feet gain. People say it takes 3 hours. But that was the option we were going to take leaving Bishop. And since then, we've been talking to many hikers going the opposite direction of us, and every single one of them has forded the river and been safe and said it was less sketchy than the up and over, it was completely doable, etc. So we had talked about it last night and the day before and planned to camp right at the river so we could cross it first thing in the morning when the levels were low, and do that. But overnight, Emily got a little bit nervous with the idea of crossing, and so for her comfort, instead of doing the river crossing, we're going to go back to our very original plan, leaving town, and do the up and over route, which is why we're only going to do 18 miles today, because that will put us right at the start of the up and over route, so we can hit that tomorrow morning. But I'll let you know if anything changes. This is an inside thing from me and Chad, but babe, I would take property right here in the mountains, in the grass, by the stream. It's perfect. This is where the trail is supposed to go, but obviously covered in water, and I just don't want to have to switch out my shoes this early in the morning. So I'm gonna follow this little path other hikers have made upstream and hopefully find a place where I can keep my feet dry and not have to switch out to my Crocs. So far this morning, I've passed at least 7 other southbounders, so going the opposite direction that we are, who did the river crossing, and everyone I've asked has done the river crossing, and they all felt extremely comfortable doing it. I'm absolutely not going to force Emily to do something she's not comfortable with, but I hope she also talks to these people and feels more comfortable and willing to try the river crossing. I will do the up and over route with her if that's what makes her comfortable, but I mean, not gonna lie, I would absolutely prefer to do the river crossing, because ultimately that would be a shorter route and an easier route. But again, my job is not to convince her to do something she's not comfortable, but if she hears all these first-hand accounts from other people and that changes her comfort level, I wouldn't mind about that. Yet another water crossing, but at least there are rocks. starting to get to the snow patches of Muir Pass. I still have my micro spikes on. This is honestly the best type of snow for walking on. It's about 8:45 in the morning. It is, the snow, it's not icy, but it's not complete slush, just a little bit soft. That allows me to get the traction I need to walk on it safely. Also, as you can see, there are boot tracks I'm following. So someone's already made the footprints for me. If I didn't feel comfortable, I have the option for micro spikes or going on the rocks and scrambling around. But this is extremely comfortable for me, so I'm just going to keep going as I am. This is Helen Lake, the last lake before the top of Muir Pass, and as you can see, still a lot of snow and ice there. Almost to the top of Muir Pass, came from all the way down there, and the hut is right there. I'll show you when we get closer. It was about, I don't know, 6 point something miles from the campsite. We hiked part way up Muir yesterday, but 6 point something from the campsite to the top, and it took just over 3 hours. So a very, very slow 6 miles, but honestly, I thought it was really fun. The incline was never too steep. There's at some parts to choose your own adventure, crossing the water and crossing the snow. I never felt unsafe at all. And it's been gorgeous, so I'm not sure. I think this is probably my second favorite pass now after Forster. This is the inside of a Muir hut. Saying goodbye to Muir hut and continuing on down the trail after a long break. This feels like I'm walking on a whole nother planet. It's so surreal. The video is going to be so long with all this scenery, but I can't help it. I want to remember all of this. Hi, girl. I just saw my first park ranger on trail. He is hiking the opposite direction, hiking southbound. Just asked me how I plan to deal with the upcoming river. And you know, we talked about fording versus the Skirker route, or the up and over that I talked about this morning. And then he asked to see my permit, and that was it. Very nice. Obviously I had nothing to worry about, but he's the first ranger I've seen on trail. Other hikers have seen, saw a ranger at the entrance into the Sierra from Kenny Meadows, but I passed like 15 minutes before the ranger showed up, so hadn't seen one yet. I don't know if the GoPro will show how many mosquitoes are circling around me. I know I'm a fashion statement right now. All I'm trying to do is stop for half hour to an hour to eat some food and rest. And these mosquitoes are horrible. Here's another area, Chad. Why doesn't property like this exist or be financially feasible? Mountains, the grass, the river. Oh, that would be amazing. I thought I would feel claustrophobic hiking in the bug net, but actually I'm doing just fine. It's not that the mosquitoes are really bad when I'm walking, you know, they don't really bother me, but the second you stop, the mosquitoes swarm, and so it's easier just to have it on to be protected for when I stop for water or break or anything like that. So for that reason, I'm also wearing pants that I normally hate hiking in because of the heat, but I just can't stand any more bites on my body. I probably have somewhere between 30 to 40 bug bites, mosquito bites, and I'm trying not to add to that number. The river I just crossed was Evolution Creek. I just happened to be there at the same time as a hiker named Carson, who I've seen off and on the last day and a half. It was, as you could see, the fact that I felt comfortable videoing, it was very easy crossing. Came up to about knee depth, but wasn't fast, wasn't slippery, anything at all, which is great because I did hear from one of the hikers going the opposite direction of me today that that river crossing was worse than the San Joaquin river crossing that we're going to do tomorrow. So Emily talked to several southbound hikers today about the river crossing, and she now feels comfortable doing it again. So we're going to camp about a half mile before the river crossing and do it first thing in the morning, which means I've got about 2 miles left to go to get to camp, where I can set up my tent and finally be safe from these mosquitoes. As always, I'm in awe of this beauty. I'm in my tent at the end of day 36. It's only 6:30, but the mosquitoes, as they happen all day, are being very hellish. So I'm going to start my tent and get in here ASAP while I wait for Emily to get here. Today we did 20.5 miles. I think somewhere between 32 to 3,500. I don't feel like going back to check the exact amount. Feet gain of elevation. Tomorrow, first thing first, we are 0.6 away from the river crossing, so we'll do that first thing in the morning when the water's as low as possible. And then the rest of the day, the pass for tomorrow is Sheldon Pass. I think I already said, but we did Mirror Pass today, which was honestly really fun, not bad at all. And then it'll be Sheldon Pass tomorrow. I'm not sure how many miles we'll plan to go tomorrow, somewhere probably between 18 and 20 miles. But today is going well, besides mosquitoes. My shoulders are a little bit sore, but that's just from the pack with the bin and everything like that. Bum on my left foot is a little bit sore, but all these things are very normal hiker things, so nothing I'm worried about.